Hello guys, welcome back to the channel, or welcome to the channel if this is your first time here. I hope you're doing really well. Today we're going to be watching the Ghost and Mrs Muir, which I've not heard of before, but this has been requested. It looks like a wonderful film from the pictures that I've seen. I believe there's a cottage of some kind. Don't forget to stick around till afterwards when we go through the film's trivia. Now this has been requested over on Patreon. If you want to see the uncut reaction to this, you can see it over on the Patreon page, or you can check it out over on YouTube members as well. This has Tierney in it, and if you'd love to see another Tierney film, we've also watched Laura on the channel as well. But without further ado, this is the Ghost and Mrs Muir. Yes, I forgot it was Tierney. That's why you guys requested it. Charles Lang Jr. Oh wow, it was a female film editor. Dorothy Spencer. I always like to point out the film editors because I don't feel like they get enough praise. This is the first time I've seen, out of these older films, I could be wrong, but I've seen a female editor. Joseph L. Mankiewicz. London! At the turn of the century. Ominous music. I didn't know this would be a British production though.
Lucy, I never heard of such a thing. Oh, Lucy.
Please don't make it more difficult. But it simply won't work, my living here.
Poor Edwin, barely cold in his grave.
He's been dead almost a year now. I don't see what Edwin's got to do with this.
Wow. Tierney's so beautiful.
I'm leaving you.
Bye-bye.
After all we've tried to do for her.
I'm not really a member of the family, except for marrying your son, and I have my own life to live, and you have yours, and they simply won't mix.
I mean, that's how it should work.
I've never had a life of my own.
Go out and live your life for yourself.
But what will I have to remind me of poor Edwin? Lucy,
Oh.
have you considered Anna?
Yes, Eva, I have.
And you're willing to take the responsibility for what might become of her?
She's my daughter, Eva.
You're insinuating that I interfere with Anna.
Well, she wasn't quite insinuating that, but...
Don't deny it, I say.
I'm not denying it, Eva.
Lucy, you haven't any money.
I have the income from Edwin's gold shares. Anna and I can live quite cheaply with Martha.
Do you mean you're taking Martha Huggins?
And why not?
Ah, Martha's the maid.
Well, Lucy, where can you go?
The seaside, I think. I've always wanted
that
to live by the
is
sea.
Oh, so have I.
Oh, goody.
Little girl.
But when you realize your mistake and try to come crawling back to us, don't expect any encouragement from me.
I won't, Eva.
She won't be looking for it, don't worry. I'm sure she'll be fine. Stand away from that door.
Oh, it's a blooming revolution, that's what.
It's a blooming revolution, that's what. So she's Mrs Muir, but it'll be White Cliff by the sea.
Isn't White Cliff beautiful, Martha?
So I take it this was actually shot in a British town back then. I was trying to see which one it was.
I am sorry.
It's quite all right.
Then you're Mr. Coon. Please eat it.
Sticky fingers, sorry, madame. Oh, it's an egg.
Selected several prospects suitable to a young lady in bereaved circumstances.
The cottage?
Modern drains, private garden, £120.
I'm afraid that's a little too expensive.
I was saying, there's a lot of money in those days.
4 bed, 1 recept, sun parlour, offices.
Don't need that many rooms.
Short walk
This
from...
Gull Cottage.
What was that, madam?
This house, Gull Cottage.
Oh, that sounds gorgeous as well.
Gull Cottage. Oh, no, that wouldn't suit you at all. Company's gas and
And
water.
only £52. It's very little for a furnished house.
It's a ridiculous price.
I suppose there's something
It's
wrong.
ridiculously good price.
Is it the drains?
When we may be sure there is nothing wrong with the drains.
Well, then she'll take it.
Then why shouldn't it suit me?
Dear young lady, you must allow me to be the judge of that. Now, where were we?
She can speak her own mind. Take it, Lucy.
I should be the judge.
You'll only waste your time.
Exactly.
But it's my time. I believe there's another house agency in White Cliff. Perhaps they have Gull Cottage listed too.
Bye-bye.
If you insist.
He's just seeing her out. Oh, no, he's...
Drive you to Gold Cottage in my motor car.
Lovely, thank you very much, sir. Yeah, maybe there's a lot that needs to be done to it. That's why he was saying it. Now this is ideal. I've got to find out where this is filmed. I wouldn't have classed that as a cottage. It looks more like just a house, not a cottage. Okay, maybe it could be. It's rather respectable. It's nice. Oh.
Terribly dusty.
Office is back there, living on the right, dining off with it.
It's gorgeous. It's a bit more like a town house. Oh, right,
Of
okay.
course. It's a painting.
The former owner, Captain Gregg.
Captain Gregg. Former owner, did he die?
That explains the scheme of decoration, doesn't it?
Which is in frightful taste.
Oh no, I love the sea type theme. Just look at the way I'm dressed.
Mrs. Muir, I must beg of you not to be so precipitous. I assure you this house will not suit you at all.
Oh, but it does. Suits me perfect. Kind of a tree, is it?
I believe it is called a monkey puzzle tree.
I've not heard of one of them.
I'll have it chopped down. Did you say something, Mr. Coon?
No, I did not.
Oh, I wonder if I was right. I wondered if that guy, Greg, did they say it was Greg? Captain Greg? If he was going to be a ghost.
What on earth? That table. I thought you said no one had been here.
I said nothing of the sort. I said the house had been empty. It has.
Obviously not very long because the bread's not...
Charwoman was here last week.
Oh, she must have left in a frightful hurry. Did she tell you why?
She told me nothing. She returned the key to the office whilst I was out.
Because it was haunted.
Mrs. Muir,
I know it won't suit me, but it does.
I would be the same.
I'd like to see the upstairs.
The upstairs.
He's not impressed. She knows her mind. Oh my god. What is going on in this day and age? Oh, I love the look of this house.
Of course.
And a telescope.
He liked to watch the ships.
Is it-
You're clean.
I beg your pardon, Mrs. Muir.
How is it clean?
The telescope. Did you laugh, Mr. Cook?
Oh, this is what she's been hearing. Oh, he could hear. Oh, it's so creepy. They frightened me out of my house.
You would come. I didn't want to show it to you, but oh, no, you had to see it.
Haunted. How
I love it.
perfectly fascinating.
That would be me.
Because it's fascinating that this house is driving me to drink.
Slightly scary, but
4 times I rented it, and 4 times the tenants have left after the very first night. The owner's in Australia, Captain Gregg's cousin.
but if you tell them,
I never want to see this house again.
perfect, I'll take
Gregg
it.
had lived to be 100. I wish he'd never been born. At least you know now why it won't suit
I
you.
suppose so.
No, Lucy, take it, please.
Why does he haunt? Was he murdered?
No, he committed suicide.
I
Oh,
wonder why.
Save someone the trouble of assassinating him, no doubt.
but why would he? Maybe lonely?
You'll probably think it very silly of me, Mr. Coon.
But I'm gonna take it.
Decided to take Gull Cottage after all. In the 20th century, to believe in apparitions and all that medieval nonsense.
You heard him laugh.
Oh yeah.
I heard what might have been a laugh, what might have been the wind roaring.
If I may say so, Mrs. Muir, fiddlesticks.
I want Gull Cottage.
You are the most obstinate young woman I have ever
No.
met.
Thank you, Mr. Coon.
She knows what she wants.
I've always wanted to be considered obstinate.
I disclaim all responsibility for what may happen. You shall have Gull Cottage.
I shall move in as well, because I like the sound of it.
Don't you dare come in,
Oh, little doggy.
bringing your muddy feet through my nice clean kitchen. Landlubber.
Ah, what a lovely, lovely lady, isn't she?
Nothing like soap and water to make everything shipshape and Bristol fashion. Yes. What did you say, Martha?
Ship shape.
Why, I said... What did I say? Shipshape
Shipshape.
and Bristol fashion.
I've never heard you use that expression before.
She never has.
Must have been the sea air.
It does wonders. It makes you very sleepy as well.
You've done enough hard work for today. You know, you're supposed not to
If
be...
you're going to start telling me I'm not strong, I'll pack you off back to London on the first train.
Dear old London, how I miss it.
Yeah, but that place is gorgeous.
I feel so useless. Here I am nearly halfway through life, and what have I done?
I know what I done, all right. Cooked enough steaks to choke an hippopotamus. Found it.
You've led a very useful life, Martha.
I love Martha.
I have nothing to show for all my years.
Writing, that's probably what I would do if I had a cottage like that. Near the seaside.
Oh, but I am tired. I think I will take a little rest.
She's even got a chair that I love. Got one like that over there. Oh, and the clock as well.
You're an angel.
Ain't noticed any wings sprouting lately.
One day, Martha. Here comes the ghost. PM. Oh yeah, dogs can sense spirits, can't they? That's what they say anyway. There he is. Looking rather solid for a ghost. Frighten the hell out of her when she wakes up. Was that the window? Oh, that looks like a storms are coming. I was going to say.
I had such a curious dream. Did I close the window before I went to sleep?
You did, and scraped your finger, didn't
Yeah, your fingers.
you? Shut now, ain't it?
It's shut now.
Well, this is cozy, this film. I love it. Creepy, but cozy. Okay, thanks for the frighting.
I love the sea, and so does Rummy.
And so do I.
Rummy! Is there a dog called Rummy? Would they be in an old cottage as well? They'll need to keep warm. This is where he moves. It's not the painting this time. That was cool. I don't like gas. Someone's blowing it out. I have a feeling he's trying to get her out of the house. To try and spook her anyway. He's cheeky.
I know you're here.
Yeah, blowing it out every time.
I say I know you're here. What's wrong? Are you afraid to speak up?
No, but it's probably the first person that's properly acknowledged him.
Or to frighten women? Well, I'm not afraid of you. Whoever heard of a cowardly ghost?
I suppose Casper, maybe. But he was friendly.
Light the candle.
You'll see me.
How can I when you keep blowing out the match?
Light the blasted candle.
I love it in older films. There he is. I love it in older films where when they light a match or something and the light just glows in the room.
If I take a moment to get accustomed to you.
But it's not their light, it's a set light.
You're Captain Gregg.
Hi.
I'm sorry I called you names. Coward and so forth. I didn't really believe in you, or I wouldn't have. Must have been embarrassing to you.
Why?
Why?
I mean, because of the way you died.
Oh, is this going to be...
The way I died, madam.
Does he not know he's dead? I was going to say, is it going to be that he actually got murdered?
I went to sleep in front of that confounded gas heater in my bedroom, and I must have picked the gas on with my foot in my sleep.
Oh, no.
It was a stormy night, like this. Half a gale blowing from the south-southwest into my windows, so I shut them as any sensible man would. Blasted charwoman testified I always slept with my windows open. How the devil should she know how I slept?
Oh, I'm so glad.
Well, glad that you're dead?
You have a strange sense of humor, madam.
I mean, because you didn't commit suicide.
Makes sense.
Why do you haunt?
Because I have plans for my house, which don't include a pack of strangers barging in and making themselves at home.
Then you were trying to frighten me away.
I'd barely started.
I think it's very mean of you frightening people.
That's what a ghost does.
Charted the course with regret. You're not a bad-looking woman, you know. Especially when you're asleep.
So,
Don't watch her while she's asleep, sir.
you were in my room this afternoon.
My room,
I
madam.
know you were,
I
but...
thought I'd dreamed it. Did you open the window to frighten me?
I opened the window because I didn't want another accident with the blasted gas. Women are such fools.
That's why he did it, right.
You, of all people,
He's tried to
should not have brought that
help
up.
her.
But I'm quite capable of taking care of myself.
You just got to be careful.
Now, if you don't mind,
Oh, you're going to light the gas. Yeah, bang. Oh, God.
I just wanted to see if you were really there.
You're a figment of my
And
imagination.
I'll still be here when you've packed up and gone.
But I'm not going.
My dear woman, it's not your house.
It is as long as I pay rent.
Pay rent to my blasted cousin. It's my house.
But she's not going anywhere.
Into a home for retired seamen.
Then you should have said so.
I know what he meant, but my mind didn't think what he said.
Because I didn't expect to kick the blasted gas on with my blasted foot.
I won't be shouted at. Everyone shouts at me and orders me about, and I'm sick of it. Do you hear? Blast!
Have a nice little home like this.
Blast! 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 Or laughed at either. I won't leave this house. You can't make me leave it.
Stick firm. Oh, Lucy.
Stop it now, do you hear me?
I love this house. I felt I must stay here the moment I saw it. It was as if the house itself were welcoming me and asking me to rescue it from being so empty. You can't understand that, can you?
Whimsical little things like that. They do happen.
Oh, might be some truth in it of that. Felt that way about a ship once. Found her rusting in the Mersey. Always swore she sailed twice as sweetly for me as she would for any other master.
You cared for it and nurtured it back to being normal.
You may stay. On trial.
Okay, okay.
No intention of making you happy. I merely want to do what's best for the house.
And you'll go right away and leave us alone.
I will not go right away.
Because of Anna, my little girl.
I never frighten little girls.
But think of the bad language she'd learn and the morals.
Confound it, madam, my language is most controlled. And as for my morals, I lived a man's life, and I'm not...
As for me morals.
But I can assure you no woman's ever been the worse for knowing me.
She's much too young to see ghosts.
Pretends that he's not a ghost?
Leave my bedroom as it is, and I'll promise not to go into any other room in the house. And you're a brat, and you'd never know anything about me.
Don't call her a brat.
But if you keep the best bedroom, where should I sleep?
In the best bedroom.
Well, with him? He's only a ghost.
I have no body. I haven't had one for 4
Suppose.
years. All you see is an illusion.
I suppose.
I want my painting hung in the bedroom.
It's a very poor painting.
It's my painting. I didn't invite your criticism. I want you to put it there now, tonight.
Why specifically that night? Could have waited till the morning?
I mean, it doesn't do you justice.
He's gone. Yeah. Oh.
Might at least have turned the light back on before you left.
That was really cool. I take it they're wired gas lanterns on the wall or something? That's what he wants hung up, that painting?
Such nonsense.
So he's constantly watching over her in her sleep? Oh, get the painting to talk. That'd be cool. Turn around, mister. He said he wanted it hung up. Also, he can still see her without... He's not in the painting.
Oh dear. Never let anyone tell you to be ashamed of your figure.
Oh! Don't be looking at her.
That's the last of them. I always say life's black enough as it is without dressing in it too.
I take it she hung the painting in the morning. Because it's already on the wall. Hello.
Good afternoon.
What have you done with me monkey puzzle tree?
I expected to chop for firewood by now.
Oh.
Oh, madam, I planted that tree with my own 2 hands.
Oh no.
Because I wanted a monkey puzzle tree in my garden.
Think how much prettier a bed of roses would look there.
I hate roses.
Gotta have a bit of give and take. It's also outside the house itself, so...
Blasted bed dies of blight.
I wish you wouldn't swear. It's so ugly.
If you think that's ugly, it's a good thing you can't read me thoughts.
Excuse me,
You
sir.
seem to be very earthly for a spirit.
And you, madam, are enough to make a saint take to blasphemy.
Blasted women. Always make trouble when you allow one aboard.
Yes. There was always that thing of women on a boat.
Why should I be agreeable?
Well, as long as we live, I mean, if we're to be thrown together so much, life's too short to be forever barking at each other.
Your life may be short, madam. I have an unlimited time at my disposal.
Yes, you do, until you pass over. She can make death a living hell as well, so...
Pretty rig you have on. Much better than smothering yourself in all that ugly black crepe.
I happen to have been wearing mourning for my husband.
Whom you didn't love.
Don't say she didn't love her husband. You didn't know a single thing about him.
How dare you say that?
Because it's true, you were fond of him perhaps, but you didn't love him.
How do you know?
I suppose you're jealous because no one put on mourning for you.
That shows how little you know about it.
Some poor, misguided female, no doubt.
3 poor misguided females, to be exact.
Womanizer.
I should think you'd be ashamed of it instead of boasting about it.
Why? They misguided themselves. I never raised a finger to help them.
It's not what I've heard about sailors.
Seaman, confound it. Sailor's a landlubber's word. Why did you marry him?
I didn't know one was picked for one and the other one for the other.
I just finished a novel in which the heroine was kissed in the rose garden and Edwin kissed me in the orchard.
It was like magical books come to life.
But it was different after you left the orchard. He didn't beat you, did he?
He never did anything. I'm afraid he wasn't even a very good architect. He couldn't have designed a house like this. Who did?
Did he?
I did.
He did that as well? Oh my
It
god.
reminds me of something. An old song or a poem.
Magic casements opening on the foam of perilous seas in fairylands forlorn.
That's
Wow.
Keats, isn't it?
The Nightingale.
Keats. I love that. He's very well knowledged.
Plenty of time for reading in the off watches.
How romantic. With the sheets bellying in the wind.
Sails, blast it all, madam.
Gosh, darn it.
Heaven help the ordinary seaman.
Were you ever one?
Several years while I learnt my trade.
It's hard to imagine you being an ordinary anything.
Oh, she's saying he's extraordinary then, is he? Is she?
You got collared.
Who's that? Oh god, it's those two again.
Who is it?
The
My
ex-husband.
blasted in-laws.
Yeah, that's it, the in-laws.
Or go away or decompose.
Dematerialize, madam.
They can't see you?
No fear, they can't see me or hear me, unless I choose that they should.
Oh, then please don't choose. I'll get rid of them.
Why don't you let me?
Just give him some spooky stuff. Oh no.
See? Talking to herself.
Well, that's interesting. We can still see him as well for this bit.
Whatever do you want with that telescope?
I like to look at the stars.
You never liked to look at the stars when you lived with us.
Now she actually can because she's not in the middle of a busy town village.
And what a hideous painting.
Anyone with a face like yours, madam, should steer clear of expressing such opinions.
Because I like it, Eva. I'm very fond of it, really I am.
Liar.
I'm sure you didn't come here merely to criticize the decoration.
What did they come there for?
Such bad news for you.
Oh God, what? Oh, is it the money from the will?
Now we can all go home and live together. And
No.
this nonsense about living alone.
What news is this?
Your gold mine, Lucy, it's petered out.
They've stopped paying dividends.
Oh, so she's got no money or no income coming in anywhere.
Don't make a scene in front of these swabs.
I don't intend to make a scene.
They can still hear you say that.
Of course you don't. You're my brave little girl. My little Lucy.
Oh, she's putting it
I'll
on.
catch a warning or I will take a hand.
You keep out of this. Oh, Lucy.
It's funny knowing that they can't see him.
If that's what you want, we will keep out of it.
I didn't mean...
Good.
And just whom did you
Bye-bye.
mean?
Well, but you wouldn't believe me.
All I know is that you're acting in a most peculiar fashion.
I just want him to show himself.
She thinks you got bats in your belfry.
Oh, pipe down.
With your income gone, there's only one course for you to follow.
Yeah,
That
income.
is to come home now with us.
No,
I mean, give up this house?
that's what they want.
Place. And now that you're a pauper, how can you possibly stay?
Jeez. Get a job somewhere if you can. Sure, there's plenty of ways.
Don't do it, Lucy.
Yeah, don't do it.
Do you want me to stay?
Yes.
Oh
Really
God,
mean it?
they are thinking she's completely gone nuts.
Tell them to shove off. We'll think of something.
Shut off. Please say
It's
that.
very kind of you to want me back. Please be good enough to shove off.
Yes, Lucy. Yes. I didn't think she'd actually say it. Please just shove off. That was so good.
Captain Gregg, where are you?
Oh, is he going to scare them? Please.
I'm going to give her one more chance.
No.
Stop pulling me, Mother.
I'm not pulling you, Eva.
Let me go!
Did the little girl see him? Or does the little girl just see them two running off?
Mummy's coming aboard in a motor car.
Mr. Coombe is invited for tea.
Oh, we see now.
I'm so glad you found the house suitable after all. I'm convinced now that we were unduly concerned about the possibility of a ghost haunting it.
Oh no. He haunts it, alright.
Still, you must admit, it's a very isolated location. I've often thought of you out here alone, without the protection of a man the right man could offer you.
Oh no, is he trying to say... Good on him. Good on Mr. Captain Gregg. He even leapt the wall. But he was trying to offer to stay there himself. The perfect control of that car, by the way, going back down the hill. Very well remote controlled. Backpedaled maybe by someone inside. But that was you, wasn't it?
I only hope when I reach the afterlife I have a little more dignity.
Do you call it dignified to throw yourself at a herring-gutted swab like that?
She was being kind.
Thought you wanted to sign him on for a husband.
Mr. Coombe? That walrus.
It's my experience that women will do anything for money. I couldn't allow you to take in lodgers.
It's them or starve.
Not at all, my dear.
Is she allowed to sublet though?
You're going to write a book.
Hey, write a book, that's what I said. That would work for money.
I find it hard enough to write a postcard.
No, but I can. I can write a book.
Oh.
And you can put it down on paper for me.
Brilliant idea.
The story of my life. And we'll call it,
Yar, me landlubbers.
Blood and Swash.
Oh my god, don't call it that. But her writing it would need to be under her name.
But it takes months to write a book. What are we to live on in the meantime?
A pen name, I
You have
suppose.
jewelry?
A little.
Pawn it.
No.
Blast your eyes, madam. Will you understand? You can't afford to be squeamish.
I do understand, and don't swear at me.
Start with that ugly brooch.
But Edwin's mother gave it to me.
All the more reason to pawn
Oh,
it.
that one.
You
God.
know I'm very fond of my mother-in-law.
Very well.
Are you really?
If you're so fond of her, you can go back and live with her. Since we're to be collaborators, you can call me Daniel, and I shall call you Lucia.
Lucia. It's Lucy.
My name is Lucy.
Doesn't do you justice, my dear.
No, Lucy's a beautiful name.
Imposed upon, but Lucia. Now, there's a name for an Amazon.
Lucia.
I feel frightened and confused and wondering what the future will bring.
Don't you trust me?
Do, Daniel, when I'm talking to you, when you're not here.
That's where I was going to say it's when he's not there.
It's asking a great deal to expect anyone to trust her whole future to
Ghost.
someone who isn't real.
But I am real. I'm here because you believe I'm here. And keep on believing.
But it's not. He's not just in her imagination though, because he can affect other things. But I suppose he's staying around because she believes that he is haunting the house. We've got to change the title of the book though.
Well, what's the matter?
What is wrong, dear?
You haven't finished the sentence.
It's that word. I've never written such a word.
What word?
It means what it says, doesn't it? What word do you use if you wanted to convey that meaning?
I don't use any.
Well, hang it all, Lucia, if you're going to be prudish...
I take it it's quite a rude word. It was 4 words, so I presume it was a swear word.
I went upstairs.
Why did you go upstairs?
You must have been very young.
Inexperienced, perhaps. Curious as young men are. I matured early.
Sure you did.
It's the unvarnished story of a seaman's life.
It certainly is unvarnished.
Well, smear on your own varnish. Change the grammar all you please, but leave the guts in it.
Tone it down a bit.
I was educated by the vicar.
Poor man, he must have had a dreadful time.
He enjoyed every minute of it, except the time I put a snake in his bed.
You must have been a horrid little boy.
Yeah, I was going to say, he really was a cheeky one.
Shoes when you were 12.
Certainly I was.
Fat little girl in hair ribbons.
I wasn't fat, I was skinny.
How very dare you,
And I
sir.
wore my hair in braids.
And 1,000 freckles. You still have freckles.
Only 7 of them.
Are they going to get a bit more of a...
They are at that.
They're going to become quite close together. I don't know how that will work with him being a ghost, but...
I had no idea it was so late.
Yes, you'd better be getting some sleep.
Daniel,
They already are starting to become close.
what did your aunt do when you ran away to sea? Did she write to you?
Every Sunday for 7 years. I was at sea when she died.
Oh no.
What are you thinking about, Lucia?
I'm thinking how lonely she must have felt.
Lucy. It's gone. To be there by the sea, window open, relax and fall asleep.
Seen that coom in the village? He give me this for you.
Oh, thanks, Ma. It's another demand for payment of the rent.
He did
Oh.
say something about sending the bailiffs to put us out.
No, they're behind really badly.
Little money put by 'em. There ain't be nothing to spend it on here.
We'll manage somehow.
Start painting or something maybe as well.
It's unimportant. Don't worry about it.
What if he sends the bailiffs?
I'll handle them.
I'm so tired, Daniel.
Money, worries and troubles, yeah.
I'm ready, Daniel.
Good, my dear.
I love that they're writing together. That's not the sort of thing I don't think she would have written, so...
I dedicate this volume. The end.
I hope they like it.
Hope so.
They must like it.
They will.
Somehow it's a very wise book.
It has elements of wisdom in it, my dear.
I never understood the sea before, or the men who go to sea. Why did you write the book, Daniel? It wasn't merely to save the house for me.
Partly that. For
To get his story out.
But mostly to help people understand, reveling in the luxuries that seamen risk their lives to bring to them.
I love the soft shots in these older films.
Well,
It's their romance shots.
Yes, Daniel.
Jib out there. Too close by the sound.
It's the loneliest sound, like a child lost and crying in the dark.
He's lost, all right. Fogging the channel's treacherous.
Still, it's honest, the sea. Makes you face things honestly, doesn't it?
Proper instincts, I suppose, out at sea.
Something on your mind.
What's to become of us, Daniel? Of you and me?
You can actually see the fog behind as well.
Everything's happened that can happen.
But not to me. When we were writing the book, I was happy. We were accomplishing something together.
Write more.
Now, when I try to think about the future, it's all dark and confused, like trying to see into the fog.
I like that analogy.
Cooped up in the house too long. You need a change of scene. You'll be out in the world more.
We're going to go out on the boat together?
Seeing men.
I have no desire to see men.
A real person, yeah.
Confoundedly attractive woman. Oh, haven't you noticed? Really, my dear, you owe it to yourself.
Yes, Daniel.
Such a tough situation for them all. Like, he's dead. She is quite lonely. She doesn't know the future. She's not got any money.
I'm afraid we've got ourselves into an awful fix.
Here goes nothing. Is she going to be able to get it published? Who are you, sir? What are you following her for? Get away.
I'd like to see Mr. Sproul, please.
I see you're back, Mr. Filer.
Obviously.
Have you decided to wait?
Forever, if I must.
Can't see Mr. Sproul without an appointment.
But I have a manuscript.
So you have a manuscript. Most unusual.
No more so than your adenoids and your bad manners. Now take the lady's name.
Oh, thank you very much, sir.
Mrs. Edwin Muir.
Mrs.
That guy is just sizing her up. Don't tell. You're a dress out in front of a stranger. Lucy. Name and address. God, he's sleazy. I don't like him.
Is it a cookbook, or is it a book of dreams?
No.
I had an appointment at 11 o'clock. I arrived at 10:30 and wouldn't wait. So you may have my appointment, for which you are just in time.
That's very good of you, but I'm afraid I can't.
Very kind.
You will set aside your book of social graces for just long enough to seize an opportunity that you want very much.
Yes.
By merely indulging a small, natural, selfish instinct.
Without doubt, sir, you are the most forward gentleman I have ever encountered.
Very forward.
It's quite all right.
Oh, no, really?
Here now.
She's mad about you. Couldn't you tell?
Come in, your new book is terrible. Who are you? And I'll trouble you to take yourself elsewhere.
I simply had to get in to see you. I have a manuscript.
Of course you have. 20 million discontented females, and every blessed one of them's writing a novel.
All because it's a
I
woman.
don't have to read it. No, madam, I do not.
Come back here, you blasted grampus!
Why, he came with her? Oh,
Madam,
the language.
you're such a nice-looking woman, too.
Oh,
That wasn't me.
it isn't what you think at all. It's a biography. It's
I love how they hear a man's voice and they just think it's her.
A sailor's life.
A specific sailor.
I ask your pardon, madam, but what do you know about sailors?
a great deal, believe me.
Perhaps I have time for a few pages at that.
I think he's gonna love it. He likes it. And it's funny.
I have been waiting here for 3 hours.
Now, because he's reading the entire book.
Still in there?
Sent luncheon at it too.
Still reading it, and he's come for his appointment. He read the entire thing. Oh,
You're not going to pretend that you wrote this. No, it's a man's book. Is he your husband, Mrs. Muir?
that's what I mean. It's written differently to how she is. So
I'd like very much to meet him.
I'm afraid that's impossible.
he's dead.
He's away.
On a voyage, of course.
A very long voyage.
That could work. He's away. He sends me the book, and then I publish it.
If I hadn't had a mother and 2 sisters to support, I'd have gone to sea myself. Bless my soul, to live like that.
You'll publish it?
Of course we'll publish it, Mrs. Muir. Now
Yes.
you're empowered by the captain to act for him.
Yes, he's given me the right.
You've presented me with the most enjoyable day.
Fantastic.
And be happy that you know such a man. There aren't many like him these days.
Still isn't many, because he's not alive. And I think he saw all of that.
Goodbye.
He's like, thank you, sir.
Mr. Farley.
Oh, Mr. Farley, are you going to speak to her? Still not sure if he's a gentleman, which I thought he wasn't a gentleman first, and now I feel like he might be.
It's easy to understand why the most beautiful poems about England in the spring were written by poets living in Italy at the time. I'm not a poet, but I've got an umbrella, and your hat, if I may say so, is singularly inadequate.
I didn't bargain for this blasted rain.
She started to get a bit of a mouth.
I could call you a cab, if
Thank you.
ask nicely.
I'm a cab. Excuse me, sir. Very forward. It feels a bit sort of passive-aggressive. He's trying to be nice, but
I know you won't mind sharing my cab with me, will you?
Not at all.
The word you're looking for is brass, to describe my behavior.
Still, in a way, I should be grateful to you.
Why?
Browl has agreed to publish my book.
So the old boy's developed a weakness for feminine literature, has he?
it's not feminine.
This book might surprise.
Surprising enough to find a lady author.
Please tell me the captain's there with him.
Do you write, Mr.
My name is Miles Fairley. Yes, I write little children's books.
You?
He writes children's books?
I'm afraid you already have. I write under the name of Uncle Neddy.
You're Uncle Neddy? All of your cynicism must be nothing but a pose. You're adored by half the children in the world.
Deep in my innermost heart, I loathe the little monsters.
Oh,
My little daughter is not
so
a monster.
strange that he writes for
Very
children.
excited to know I've been talking to her favorite author.
I shall make an exception of your daughter.
Keep forgetting that she's got a daughter because you never see her, really.
My husband is dead.
Oh.
Don't say that, because he'll be like, oh.
Oh?
Yes, please.
Do wish he'd hurry.
Well, there's no rush now. We'll get there in time.
You should have said you had a husband. Have Captain Greg just show up as if he's the new boyfriend or something.
Well, goodbye, Mrs. Muir.
Goodbye, Mr. Dean.
Oh, no, don't take a hanky. Sir. Oh, gosh, she likes it. Oh, no. Maybe he will be okay. He writes children's books. It's a very decent job.
Cheer up.
Here he is.
You've been eavesdropping.
Yeah.
Feminine literature.
Yeah.
What does he mean, feminine literature?
He had no way of knowing it's your book.
Brass, he says. I'll polish his brass for him.
I was thinking brass balls.
And the way he was smirking at you like a cat at the fishmonger.
That's what I thought. The smirk.
Should have slapped his face.
Why? I found him rather charming.
Now you're starting to talk like him.
Really smarmy.
How in blazes do you want me to talk?
That's better.
I think you're being extremely childish.
I'm only trying to protect you from your own worst instincts.
I'll manage my own instincts, thank you.
You know perfectly well she hates Uncle Neddy.
Oh, she hates Uncle Neddy. Was that... Did she say that earlier?
Another minute I would have.
Daniel, I believe you're jealous.
He's very jealous.
I'm not jealous. You think me for a blasted schoolboy? Besides, jealous is a disease of the flesh.
I've never known you to be so disagreeable. Day of all days.
What's today?
Mr. Sproul liked the book.
Of course he liked it.
And now I can buy the house.
Will he mind that?
I'm not sure I want you to have a blasted house after all.
Oh, Daniel, please.
It means that he doesn't have to worry about being given around to everybody else, so...
Oh, I suppose being a woman, you can't help it.
Can't help what?
Making a fool of yourself.
You yourself said that I should mix with people, that I should see men.
I said men, not perfume parlor snakes.
Not an idiot.
Sheer off, you blasted mud turtle. There's no room.
I beg your pardon, madam.
Why does everybody... do they automatically think it's her saying that? I suppose it's instinctive. You hear a voice coming from a direction, you would just assume it's that person, but... Anna Muir.
And I've cut it nice and deep so all the ships at sea can see it.
Perfect.
My goodness.
Except it's facing the wrong way, but... I love that she went through it. I love that she went through it instead of going the other way. Just walking to her. It's beautiful, that place.
Mr. Scroggins and I have got to build a breakwater now.
But mind you're not too late.
I hope she's going to be okay. I think she will be, but... That guy has been there. Yeah, that's a hanky from the train. Oh, there. Is that him? Yep.
Life is just one coincidence after another, isn't it? I wanted to have something of you until I saw you again.
I get a really weird feeling about him. I think it's because he's so cocksure of himself. He's like, yeah.
Specifically, I behaved quite idiotically towards a certain young lady that I fell in love with, passing on a stair.
Wow, you fell in love with her? Barely know her.
Am I being unforgivably offensive, Lucy?
And very forward.
Lucy.
That's your name.
It's been so long since anyone called me that.
Lucy, not Lucia.
Come and take a look at my canvas.
Is it her?
Why, it's me.
Oh, it is actually her.
You've been watching me.
I was going to say he's been watching her.
Not too bad, is it?
Wow.
I think it's very flattering.
That's beautiful.
1,000 Renoirs.
Maybe he is good for her. The captain will not like this. He said to see other people, so.
But I shall not go away even if you send me. And I shall see you again even if you forbid it.
Because he knows where you live.
I'm sure I have no control over where you go or what you do.
Then you won't forbid it.
And so you can't just presume that she will just let you see her. Oh, that place is gorgeous.
So now you've been kissed in the orchard all over again.
You've been spying on me.
I merely happened to be cruising in the vicinity.
See, he's a ghost. I thought he would only be a ghost in the house. I didn't think he would be able to move elsewhere.
When a woman's kissed, it's because deep down she wants to be kissed.
That is nothing but masculine conceit.
Well, now what happened?
He'll stay or he'll go away. It doesn't matter to me one way or the other.
You sure?
I think it matters to you more than you'll admit.
You seem to know my mind better than I do. You don't like him, do you?
Puts brilliantine on his hair.
Most men do.
And he uses perfume. Blasted near drove me out of his room.
Why was he?
I wish you wouldn't be so superior just because you're not alive.
And he is. Very much so.
It's no crime to be alive.
No, my dear. Sometimes it's a great inconvenience. The living can be hurt.
He just worries about her.
You yourself said I should go about in the world. That means taking risks.
Real happiness is worth almost any risk. But be careful. Maybe breakers ahead.
I will then.
I'm not sure about the guy. He was just being careful and telling her to just watch out, so you never know. I don't know how things will go with the guy, but God, that painting is lovely. Odd that he was, watching her, but still. I like how she doesn't like that one, but she smiles at his.
Like my picture?
No.
It's her in a bathing suit, so...
It's indecent, that's what it is.
Yeah, that's what I was
Painting
thinking.
you in your bathing costume like...
Exactly.
Oh, come, Mother.
That would have been quite a to-do back then.
This is the 20th century. We must rid ourselves of the old fetishes and taboos.
Learned a lot of new words, ain't you?
We're never too old to learn.
Or to make fools of ourselves either. Uncle Neddy.
Well, you don't think he was Uncle Neddy?
What's he up to? What's he want with you?
The money from the book.
Why shouldn't I?
Because he ain't good enough for you, that's why not.
Oh.
A man no decent woman would associate with.
Martha, what right have you to talk like that?
Well, I got a right to my own feelings, and I got a feeling about him.
That's exactly what I said. He's trying to sort of butter her up.
Perhaps he's conceited, erratic, even childish. But he's real.
Some men can be.
Real? I thought I was impervious to emotion. A respectable widow woman with hide like a rhinoceros. But I'm not. I need companionship.
She does not.
I suppose I need love.
Yep, to not be lonely.
I hope he can give it to you.
Now, suppose you go on downstairs and make us both a cup of tea.
I'll make it all feel better.
I'll finish that. Well, Daniel, haven't you anything to say?
Yes, do you approve or not? He seems to have disappeared. Oh, God. Darling, don't be kissing.
How?
I don't know.
Tell me.
I think I got the wrong end of the stick with him because I'm not getting the right feeling from him, but...
You won't fall. I'll hold you.
Just don't like the way he says stuff. So sickly sweet and...
It's Anna's bedtime.
Just this once, pretend you forgot.
But I didn't.
Gotta say, good night.
2 lifetimes full till we're both old. What's wrong?
I'm jealous. I'm even jealous of a little girl.
I can't just forget my duty to her.
When you're with me, I want you to forget about everyone else in the world.
Oh, no, don't be like that. No, he's going to be controlling, isn't he?
Consider my duty and only right that I...
Be very gaslighting and try to push her away from family. You'll know what's good for her, I think, Captain Greggy. Bit of a love triangle going on.
I thought you were one woman with sense. But you're like all the rest of a fool for any man who will promise you the moon and end by taking everything you have to give.
This is what I was thinking. Not that she's a fool, but...
You've made your choice, the only choice you could make. You've chosen life, and that's as it should be, whatever the reckoning.
God, I hope she's going to be okay.
And that's why I'm going away, my dear.
No!
I can't help you now. I can only confuse you more and destroy whatever chance you have left of happiness. You must make your own life amongst the living. Whether you meet fair winds or foul, find your own way to harbour.
That's beautifully written, beautifully acted by him as well.
Listen to me. You've been dreaming of a sea captain that haunted this house. Talks you had with him.
But it's true.
In a book you both wrote together at Lucia. You wrote the book. You and no one else.
A book you imagined from his house. Picture on the wall from his gear lying around.
Is that true though? Is it that he is just a figment of her imagination for real? Or he's just saying this to comfort her so he can go away?
It's been a dream.
And in the morning and the years after, you'll only remember it as a dream. And it'll die. As all dreams must die.
Daniel, I believe you're real. And all dreams have to go.
How you'd have loved the North Cape, and the fjords in the midnight sun, to the Falklands where a southerly gale whips the whole sea white. What we've missed, Lucia, what we've both missed.
Oh, the slow pass through as well from bottom. That's so cool. No, Daniel. Oh, and the door shutting as he leaves her. Oh, that's so expressive. They're beautifully done.
From Mr. Sproul. It's about the book I've written.
Has she not realised that?
Our check for £100.
Wow.
You mean to tell me they paid you good money for that?
Yeah, that's...
Mother, have you been reading my book?
Really
I'm
good.
supposed to dust in it, and what falls under me eye falls under me eye.
Of course, Mother.
It's like eavesdropping.
I'm surprised at you. Such language.
Didn't have to use the sort of language he would use.
You'd have a hard time living up to your idea of him.
Sproul wants me to come into town to sign some papers.
But she can't write another book after that, though, can she?
I'm expecting Mr. Fairley.
Oh,
We're having a picnic.
No. Oh, good gosh.
Please remember that I'm going to marry him.
Marry him? My dear, what are you doing?
I'm thinking we might put that portrait of Captain Gregg up in the attic.
No.
Don't you like it anymore?
It was a silly idea to hang it in here. I don't know what possessed me.
So him saying that has kind of put it in her brain that it was all a dream.
Perhaps you can get Uncle Neddy to paint you one of himself instead.
Martha!
Huh.
Dear Mr. Sproul, find that I am unable to leave Whitecliff this week.
A boy brought a note for you.
From who? Sproul, maybe?
Mr. Fairley has been called up to London for a few days.
What's so terrible about that?
Unless he's not been and it's been faked.
Is that all, Mr. Sproul?
I congratulate you, my dear, and I congratulate the captain, too.
Oh, Captain.
Now she thinks.
Someday when I've known you a little longer, Mr. Sproul, I'll tell you the truth about the captain.
Please realise that he meant more to you than just a figment of your imagination.
Would you please give me Mr. Fairley's address?
Miles Fairley?
Yes, please.
What name, please?
It's Mrs. Muir. Yes, ma'am.
Oh, gosh. Nice house, though. What, does he live in the Banks house from Mary Poppins? My God, it's lovely. It actually does look a lot like the Banks house. His wife.
Mrs. Muir, the maid said you wanted to see my husband. Perhaps I can help you.
He was married still? I thought that might have been his ex-wife or something.
Or if you don't mind waiting, he should be back soon. He's taking the children to the park. I've had them abroad for the past few months and we just returned.
Unless he made up the name, and he isn't that man.
If you're a friend of his, you know how fond he is of the children. You are a friend of his, aren't you?
I'm a writer.
And he said he didn't like children, didn't he?
I don't often meet one of Miles' literary friends. You'll wait for him, won't you? I expect him back any minute. And we'll have tea.
I'll go. I'm afraid I've made a mistake.
A mistake, Mrs. Muir?
Well, he just lied and he's married with kids.
I think I understand, my dear. And I'm sorry too. Truly I am.
She knows that he's been seeing other people.
It isn't the first time something like this has happened.
Oh, God, that's even worse for her. She's like one of a string of women he's had on the side. I feel awful for the wife as well. Oh, just when she thought she'd found something, even though we knew what he was really like, at least I said I don't trust him. This is the moment when you want Captain Greg to come back.
Come on in, Mum. I brought you some nice hot milk.
Oh, bless her.
He ain't worth it. Lost his eyes.
Nothing but heartbreak, and that's what Daniel said as well, for Captain Greg. We have barely seen her daughter in this, I swear. Maybe because of filming with a child.
Where you been? Just walking. You've been doing a lot of walking these last few months.
Yeah, but it's taking the weight off of her mind.
Off to your room and a nice bit of shut-eye before tea.
Martha, do you know what day this is?
I thought I heard something a second ago, like a radio or something.
And a nice bit of shut-eye before...
But it was exactly a year ago that we came here. We went up these stairs together, and then I hurt my finger on the window. Then I had a dream.
A dream that you saw him standing over you.
The first of many dreams.
I thought she wanted that taken down as well. Didn't she take it down? She wanted it in the loft, didn't she? Did Martha just ignore her for that? Is he going to come back to her? Yeah, this is almost identical to the bit from earlier. 4 p.m. At the same time. Huh. He did wake up at 5, so maybe go to sleep and then wake up at 5 and he might be there. Stormy seas. Oh, is this in her dream? Maybe. Gorgeous shots of the sea. That shot there is beautiful. It's been some time since it's been done. It's wonderful. Oh, so it's been years, that's why. And Anna had left and is now older?
This is a surprise. How did you get off from the university?
This is Bill, Mummy.
How do you do?
His real name's Evelyn Anthony Peregrine Skate, and we're thinking of getting engaged.
But if she keeps on giving us, I suppose I'll have to.
You quite take my breath away.
But she's getting married.
We'll sing out when we watch you. Come on, Mummy.
Oh, I'm happy for her.
There'll be 2 more for tea,
Martha, Miss Anna.
And you'll find a strange young man in the living room.
What do you think?
You haven't given me time to think.
You've just seen him.
His name is Evelyn Skate.
A sub-lieutenant in the Navy. You know my weakness for sailor men.
Sailorman. Ever since she saw the ghost, maybe?
She'll have her own way, same as her mother.
Don't you go making eyes at him now.
Captains is more in my line.
She likes captains.
You to come and live with us, you and Martha. You've been alone so much of your life.
You're very kind, but
She does look quite tired, though.
you can be much more alone with other people than you are by yourself, even if it's people you love.
They've done well to make her look slightly different, sort of older, but...
But if you ever change your mind...
No, I won't change my mind. I love this house, and I've been very happy here.
Yeah, it's a beautiful home.
And I shall live here till I die.
With Captain Gregg?
So she did know Captain Grey.
With the ghost of Captain Gregg?
She knew about him.
What are you talking about?
Oh, I knew the captain very well. When I was a little girl, the first year we lived here, we used to have the most wonderful talks.
Oh,
It was all a game I'd made up, of
so
course.
wonderful.
Sort of a dream game. It was very real while it lasted.
Trust me, it wasn't a game.
Growing too old and sophisticated for him. But I grieved and grieved.
Oh, look at her.
I was hopelessly in love with him.
Oh, that's why she likes
You look as if you'd seen a...
sailors.
Don't tell me you saw him too.
No,
Yep.
no, not for years.
Then you did. Oh, Mummy, you don't suppose he really haunted us?
No, darling,
He really did.
it was only a dream.
The same dream for both of us?
Yeah, exactly.
Perhaps I set you off by telling you about my dream. Little girls are very impressionable.
I don't remember your telling me. I'd love to hear about them.
And I think I dreamed most of my book. I must have. I never could have thought of it.
Exactly.
I've tried to remember, but I can't.
You know what I think?
It really happened.
I think you fell in love with him too. Oh, I wouldn't blame you if you had. When did you stop seeing him?
After about a year, I dreamed we quarreled. It was about a man.
Uncle Neddy.
And did you know that Miles and
I used to pray you wouldn't marry him.
And you were so right. I saw him about 5 years ago at a dinner party. He was bald and fat, and he drank too much, and then he cried. It seems his wife finally had enough and took the children away.
The captain. Perhaps he did come back and talk to us. To look back on with happiness.
No, darling, he never existed.
He did.
No, I haven't missed it. Really, I haven't.
You tell lies, I think.
And dear Martha, we sit and chatter like a pair of parrots.
That's what you do.
And this house, and the sea, and the gulls, and memories, even if it was a dream.
Wasn't just a dream. I hope she does see him again one day, even fleetingly. Oh, the Anna sign's completely gone now, or fallen down. The symbolism behind this whole sign now being crumbled down, showing how many years later it is. And she's grey-haired and everything. Wow, they really aged her up for this bit. Oh, Martha as well.
You come in here.
Catch your death out there.
Catch your death.
That's what I was thinking. You'll catch your death out there.
You know what the doctor said? Oh, bother the doctor. You ain't a young one anymore.
But she's young at heart.
There's a letter from Anna. Little Lucy's engaged. Little Lucy.
Oh, she named her daughter Lucy.
To the captain of a transatlantic plane.
To a captain as well.
Says it must run in the family.
Aeroplanes not in my family, they don't.
I suppose she means captain.
Drink your hot milk.
Not now, Martha.
I like how they got rid of the other painting as well.
And I have a funny pain in my arm.
Oh no.
Come on, drink it up.
Stop bossing.
It's not going to be like a heart attack, is it, or something? Or a stroke?
No, don't get in a state.
I just want to be left alone. Bossing me.
Just old age, maybe?
Bossing, I never intended. I only brought the milk.
Just trying to be nice.
Bossing me. I'm tired.
God, I hope it's all going to be okay. Careful! No, 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 that's going to drop on the floor. Yep. Is she okay?
And now you'll never be tired again.
No, she's dead.
Dear.
No.
Count, dear.
No, so they are together again. She's young again as well. The hands are young. No, it's beautifully done. Oh God. I didn't think I'd cry at it. She waited all her life. And she's finally with him again. Oh no, she's gonna find her. Oh no, please don't tell me it's the door now. Oh, that was so beautifully done though. The door opened and they're walking into the fog together. Wow. Wow, beautifully expressive, that film. So many beautifully written parts, the things the captain had said just before he left her. I did not expect that ending. That came out of nowhere. I knew that they would hopefully see each other again. It's funny because I was going to say hopefully they see each other again before she dies. I did not expect them to pull off that ending. Thank you so much for requesting it. I knew I was right about that guy that she was with, the guy that was the children's author who actually had a wife and kids. But gosh, she deserved happiness. Even if she had been able to see the captain again at least some point in her life and have somewhat of a relationship, friendship there with him more, because she waited for years and years, her whole life, just to then see him again at the end, to, you know, be with each other forever. That line that he said at the end,
"And now you'll never be tired again."
oh my god, beautiful film. Absolutely beautiful. By the title, I had no idea what to expect. I didn't know whether or not to expect a horror film or a gentle film, and it was more a gentle film than I was thinking, but I didn't expect some kind of love story. I prefer to go into these fairly blind, so I'm just surprised and I can just take it for what it is. Beautifully told though, and the choices of having those foggy nights there and it pairing up with the thoughts that they were having at the time. Every time it seemed that she was troubled. I know most nights that she was out there, she was troubled, but it was pairing up nicely with when she felt troubled, it would be foggy. And it was her brain being fogged up with not knowing what to decide about something, or feeling lonely and lost, and that was it, like being lost in the fog. Weirdly, that film was almost made for me because it had the seaside, had cottages in it, had a bit of that sort of nautical theming to some of the things in the house. I hadn't been too sure about the captain at first because I thought maybe he was going to be a bit of a misogynist and that, but it just turned out he was a really lovely guy, but he had this harder shell there that she almost had to break through to get to his, you know, his loving side. And he was still a bit like it, still a bit feisty with some of the stuff he was saying, and still very strong with his language, at least for those days. But he did kind of know what was good for her in some ways, and he tried to warn her about that guy, and he knew something was wrong, and so did Martha as well. Martha was lovely. I'd love to live there. Our house by the sea, hear the sound in the morning, the waves crashing. But I probably do the same thing with writing, though. I would take to writing on a typewriter as well. As you can see, I've got the typewriter there, and I've got that sign. This sort of poster design thing behind is actually a poster for typewriters. There was one shot in there. I didn't say it when I was watching it because I was trying to figure out what the guy was like. You see the shot of from through the tree, looked really cool. That shot was just beautifully done. Yeah, I'm happy for her in some ways. I'm not happy for her for having been lonely for most of the end of her life, but I'm happy that she had those good moments in her life. The fact that her and Martha passed on some funny words to each other because she thought she'd, you know, had a go at her or something along those lines. I didn't expect her to have died at that point. Anyway, that's such a beautiful film. What we're going to do, guys, is I'll probably say some other thoughts about the film whilst we're going through some of the trivia, and let's see some extra information about this film. Let me know your thoughts to the film down below as well. What did you think to the characters in that, to the acting? When was the first time you saw it? I love hearing this kind of information. What was your first experience with it? Is this the first time you've watched it? Hopefully you've seen the film before, but some people do watch these for the first time just because they're interested in it and it gets them intrigued to the film itself. Did you think the same thing about the guy that drew the picture of her in a bathing suit? Which felt like, yes, okay, he was trying to be nice, I suppose, and draw the picture of her, but drawing her in a bathing suit? He could have done it while she was in proper clothing. But yes, let's dive into the trivia. Oh, I didn't know that. The word Muir means sea in Scots Gaelic. And by the way, Gaelic is the Scottish version of Gaelic, spelled exactly the same way, but it's pronounced Gaelic. But yeah, many times sailors are said to have been married to the sea. So that's married to Muir, or that the only woman they ever loved was the sea. Also, apparently, even though it was set in England, the coastal location that's used in the film is Stillwater Cove Regional Park in Sonoma County, Northern California. I never thought that that was America. It looks like the coast of England. Yeah, it was a beach near Stillwater Cove in Pebble Beach. Wow, so it was an Oscar nominee for cinematography. I can believe it, with some of those shots in there were just gorgeous. There was apparently a TV series that was based upon the film itself. Oh, it was an American sitcom based on the 1947 film, and that's a comedy. But this film was based on the 1945 novel by R.A. I'll have to read the book at some point because I love that story. Beautifully told. So I'm wondering if maybe the town from the beginning of the film was just a set, but it felt like a real place. This is Stage 9, 20th Century Fox Studios, Pico Boulevard, 10201. These are the places that it was filmed. Abalone Cove, Shoreline Park, Northern California, Monterey Peninsula, 17 Mile Drive, Carmel by the Sea, and Stillwater Cove Regional Park. That was the Pebble Beach. Well, it says it was shot entirely in California, so wherever that village was at the beginning of the film, or that town, seems to be a set in California. Oh, this is... I feel like this could have worked because it would have been in the style of a comedy then. Gene Tierney's first approach to the character of Lucy Muir was playful, almost screwball. After a conference between 20th Century Fox studio head Darrell F. Zanuck and director Joseph L. Mankiewicz, the first 2 days of shooting were redone so that Tierney could give the character more depth. That's so interesting that they decided to completely change it. But it was only 2 days in, so the change resulted in huge critical acclaim for the actress. Not being funny, but she's already kind of done similar to that in another film called Laura. In case you don't know, we watched that on the channel as well. That was from 1944, but I absolutely adored Laura. It was a fantastic film. Wow, Bernard Herrmann, who did the musical score for this film, has considered this film's soundtrack to have been his very best. Oh, the address given to Lucy Muir is that as the house of Miles Fairley, 14 Albemarle Street in London, is a real place. This is the door to Walk Up Apartments and is next to a Tiffany & Co shop. Oh, right. Even though they used the special effects at the end for him to disappear, apparently for the purpose of speeding up production, it was decided not to use special photographic effects when Captain Daniel Gregg, Sir Rex Harrison, appeared. So I think that means that every time he appeared, like he did when he left, I think they were going to kind of do that effect throughout most of it. This was apparently one of 20th Century Fox's biggest box office hits of 1947 and was ranked 10th amongst the year's top grossers. A. Dick was the pseudonym of Josephine Leslie, so a female author with a pen name of what was presumably meant to be a male's name, because if I'm remembering rightly, they did that kind of thing back then so that their books would get published. So things like what happened in the publishers wouldn't happen in real life, because they were far more likely to publish a male author's book than they were a female author's book. And that's then why they chose a pen name, a pseudonym of a male's name, or at least something with initials and then something that sounded like a male's name. And there's nothing more male sounding than R.A. Dick, is there? Apparently one of several movies produced by 20th Century Fox which doesn't use the fanfare of trumpets with the opening logo. Oh yes! Never thought about that. The other ones were All About Eve, The Song of Bernadette, 12 O'Clock High, The Robe, Pattern, Sounder, and The Sound of Music. In 1990, there was serious talk at 20th Century Fox of readapting the novel with Sir Sean Connery. Oh, that might have been good. And Michelle Pfeiffer in the leads. But the poor box office for John le Carre's The Russia House 1990 killed it flat. Gene Tierney had a broken foot during filming, the result of running up some stairs to visit Fanny Brice's new granddaughter. She had the cast removed early, just 2 weeks before filming started. Wow. 8-year-old Natalie Wood completed this movie the same year as her breakthrough role. She was the little girl. She was Maureen O'Hara's cynical daughter in the holiday classic of Miracle on 34th Street, 1947. Future editing Marty here, just to say I haven't seen the old Miracle on 34th Street. Would you like me to watch it? Maybe we'll do that around Christmas. Also, whilst editing, I realised the little Natalie Wood is the Natalie Wood from West Side Story. In case you guys didn't know, I have actually now seen West Side Story. The uncut is over on Patreon, but it will come to the channel at some point in the future. Anyway, back to the video. Yeah, I knew of this, that in the era of when this film was set, so this was set, I believe, 1900. In the era of when this film was set, the word blasted was considered a curse word. It's not by today's standards, but yeah, it was back then. Oh, this would have been really interesting, especially for the female lead that was supposed to have been there. I'm not too sure on the male lead. I've not seen him in anything yet. I may have, and I just don't remember. But According to Amanda Duff, wife of screenwriter Philip Dunn, Spencer Tracy and Katharine Hepburn had originally agreed to play the leads. Tracy then had second thoughts about the project. After he withdrew, Hepburn also bowed out. Apparently the monkey puzzle tree that Captain Gregg planted and Mrs Muir chops down is a very ancient variety of conifer, because my family used to have loads of conifers, and it was a major food source for dinosaurs. I did not know that. I knew something about conifer and dinosaurs, but I didn't expect it to be that it was a major food source. This tree, which is the Araucaria araucana, I think I've said that right, is often referred to as a living fossil and has been around for about 200 million years, or possibly more. Yeah, apparently in the show of The Ghost and Mrs Muir from 1968, it was a sitcom and it starred Hope Lang and Edward Mulhare, in the roles originally played by Gene Tierney and Sir Rex Harrison. They ran for 2 seasons, one on NBC and one on ABC, and emphasised broad humour rather than the romantic elements of this movie. I could see that being a comedy. I feel like it works better like this. But yeah, I could see that being put into a comedy scenario instead. Oh, so apparently Richard Ney was meant to be playing George Sanders' role, the man who plays the writer. But yeah, Richard Ney was fired for being inadequate for the part. Oh my god, this is going even further back. While doing research in the 20th Century Fox archives for her biography of Natalie Wood, author Suzanne Finstead discovered that Norma Shearer, Claudette Colbert and Olivia de Havilland were amongst the early casting ideas for Lucy Moore. Again, some amazing actresses there that would have been absolutely stunning in that role. Although I feel like Gene Tierney does it exceptionally well. Something that I think Katharine Hepburn would have done as well, but she definitely would have played it as a comedy part, or would have potentially tried to play it as a comedy part. Oh, so apparently the monkey puzzle tree was thought to be impossible to find for the movie as it was not native to California. However, while searching the Fox backlot, one was actually found and used. How much of a coincidence was that? Just stuff that's been stored and disused for years, and then oh my god, there's the exact thing we're after. Oh, so the one used in the film though was apparently not alive. It was actually held up by wires. That's hilarious. Oh, Mrs Muir takes an empty carriage compartment for smokers on the train. Smoking appears on the window, something a proper lady of the era would never do. But maybe that's kind of what she was trying to imply, so that other people don't try and sit next to her. Oh, apparently the Pebble Beach that stood in for England in this film also did the same thing 3 years earlier in National Velvet from 1944. You learn a new thing every day. Rex Harrison first played the ghost of Daniel Gregg in this movie, to be followed by Edward Mulhare playing the role in the television series. In like fashion, Rex Harrison played Professor Henry Higgins in the Broadway and film productions of My Fair Lady, understudied by Edward Mulhare in the Broadway show. That's amazing. Who also played Higgins in various touring companies of My Fair Lady over the years. Whether that was coincidence or whether that was done on purpose, maybe they even, said, look, we work well together, we kind of do similar roles, so, why don't we try and do this more often and we'll pair each other up. It's never that simple because you've got casting directors and that you have to go through first, but maybe. And last but not least of my facts that I have for you today, bits of trivia for you. The clock in the captain's room chimes in pairs, reminiscent of a ship. In fact, the number of bells, 2 quick strikes repeated a number of times, are not for a specific hour of the day but for a specific time within a 4-hour watch, with each time period being 30 minutes long and with a total of 8 bells per hour over a total of 6 watches. For example, the times of 2 a.m, 6 a.m, 10 to 6 p.m, and 10 p.m. are all 4 bells, each for their respective watch. 8 bells means the end of a particular watch. When Mrs Muir goes to bed, one hears 2 pairs of strikes, or 2 bells. This means that it is exactly 11 p.m. That's so interesting. I picked up on there being different chimes for different things, but I did not expect it to be that. Apparently, as for the watches themselves, they are first watch, 8 p.m. to midnight, middle, morning, forenoon, which I've not heard of before. What's forenoon? So you got middle and morning, but forenoon? Is that early afternoon maybe? And then afternoon is the evening, because it says forenoon, afternoon, which begins at noon. But then surely that's morning. Or did they class morning up till like 9 or 10? And then everything after that was forenoon. And yeah, then afternoon, beginning at noon, and dog watch. The staffing of the watches is arranged so that each crew person serves on each watch on a rotating basis. Yeah, I did not think of all of that with that clock. I just heard it doing different chimes. Never did I think, oh, this is meant to be so similar to a ship's bell or to a ship's clock. But that's such an intriguing detail. Well guys, that was it. That was all of the trivia for that film. There was not too much for that film, but it's still wonderfully beautiful. Different to what I expected it to be. By the way, as you know, at the very end of my videos, I like to do something to say that you've watched till the end of this video, right to this very point, and it's a little secret way of me knowing that you've done that, and also you being able to secretly tell me that you've done that as well. Our little secret phrase for today is going to be something that I've been thinking about for most of this trivia section. I've been going, what on earth can I use as a phrase? There's a few little things, a few little taglines, and I was so unsure of what to say, but then I thought, why not have it as where they met, where the Ghost and Mrs Muir met? Gull Cottage. So that is it. That is going to be the phrase for you to say. Gull Cottage. Like a gull, like a bird. Gull, and then cottage. I love cottages. I live in one currently, and yeah, I'm so jealous that it's not by the sea, unfortunately. I wish it was. I would love to live by the sea, and that is my dream, to hopefully one day be living by the sea, just to breathe in that fresh sea air every day. I've got a few places I'd love to live, and they're all fishing type villages. But yes, thank you so much for watching, guys. I hope you have an amazing day, whatever you're going to be doing. If you did like this, then consider clicking the like button and subscribing for more things like this. We watch classic films here. We also watch modern films here. We watch TV shows here. It all depends on what you like. Check out the main channel. I've reorganized the playlists on there. I feel like it's a little bit better laid out now. You've got some genres of things if you want to check those out. I've got playlists for classic films as well if you like just the classics. I've also got show reaction playlists nearer the bottom of the page. I've resorted it so it's films at the top and reactions for shows at the bottom. I feel like it works better that way. But I've genuinely loved this and I really appreciate it. But don't forget, if you do want to see the full uncut reaction to this, you can see it over on the Patreon page or as a YouTube member as well. But yeah, that's it for today, guys. I really appreciate you being here. Thank you so much for watching. Take care. Stay safe, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye-bye. If you're still here to the very end, then thank you so much, and also a huge thank you to my wonderful patrons. Roger C. Griffith, Douglas Collier, Terry V, Miggy Love, Chris Holmes, Jojo, Thomas Masters, Shoehorn1234, Res, Patrick Durr, Andrew Blount, Carlos, Marla Mize, Rob, Chandra Blair, Scott, Paul Zawicki, Randy, Kirsten, Juan Pablo Camero, JL, Maggie, Freya Alexandra, Milo, Miranda, Edna, Gina Aman, Tess Avaland, Olivia, Maria Stoicheva, Neno, Megan Janoviak, Rainy Tomo, Strawberry Tree, Kirsten Bailey, Boobly Boo, Louise Vanderhoven, Aubrey Terry, Wraithist, Heidi Steele, City D, Bumblebee, Joshua, Jesse, Rena Burrow, Meet, Lolita Verbakovskia, Eli, Holly Jeffries, Alenka Hafner, HM Garth, Chloe Grover, Neb, Kyle Baker, Abby Barker, Tom Tattershall, Kristen Olds, Tilly Chum, Laura Hutchison, Tara M. Wilcoxon, Sazzy Nation, Ferdinand Pitchard, Jim McKay, Sphere, Mel Days, Fran in the Pen, BG, Tara, Rags and Muffins, Nameless Human Being, Deb, Philippa Chapman, Emily, Panda, David Wayne Fox, Jessica Asakovich, Sue Pro, Naja and Workshop, Mike Tunnicliffe, Wolfgang Wolf, Lee, Harvey, Ankame, Aninya, Evan G, Violet Aurora, Pamela Chandler Rash, Scott Howard, Joshua, Robert Williams, Steve Webster, Amanda, Lipaz, Jamie Dodds, King, Happy Go Lucky, Caitlin, Analytical Guy, Maria Torres, Cliff Adams, Jonathan, Dirk, Annie Bonds, Crystal Appleby, Scorpius, Monica Murphy, Sebastian St-Ange, Varga, Leslie McKittrick, Nick Stark, Number 1 Carez, Jen, Biff McKeldin, Birgit, and Stephanie Collins. If you'd like to see more videos, there's some more on the screen right now. Thank you so much for watching, guys, and see you next time.